well-flattered Ronaldo cross.
Business news, weather report, newspaper highlights, and news as it breaks with balanced reportage. Watch Daybreak Nigeria. Daybreak Nigeria live on EKTV, Mondays through Fridays from 7:15 to 10 o'clock in the morning. EKTV Daybreak Nigeria, your agenda-setting program. Daybreak Nigeria on EKTV Channel 41, your agenda-setting program for the best of interviews without bias, sports,
Well-flattered Ronaldo cross.
business news, weather report, newspaper highlights, and news as it breaks with balanced reportage. Watch Daybreak Nigeria. Daybreak Nigeria live on EKTV.
It's good to know you're still with us on your morning magazine show, Daybreak Nigeria. Here we are set to discuss CBN's governor Sanusi Lamido Sanusi's reaction or response to how do I call it? Autonomy, removal of autonomy of the central bank, and that is an idea that came after Nigerians were greeted with the idea of you will get 5,000 naira, and people were saying, "You, Mr. Governor of CBN, you are just too powerful. We must begin to look at the CBN Act that set you up." Now we have a guest seated. I will begin with on my right, and I would like to welcome on Daybreak Nigeria, Dr. Mike Oke from the Ekiti State University. He's a financial expert. Welcome.
Good morning, thank you.
Sitting next to him is a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. It's Honorable Folorunso Adeshogun. I'll call it Barrister Folorunso Adeshogun.
Thank you very much.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Sitting next is from the College of Education in Ekiti, public affairs analyst, Mr. Ayo Arogunadi. Welcome.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Femi.
Thank you very much, DJ. I want to welcome to our guest, Honorable Adeshogun. I want us to go straight to the issue. The Central Bank of Nigeria, by their act, is too powerful. Would you agree to that?
I will not say it is too powerful because the acts were made. The CBN Act was made by a representative of Nigerians. Okay. It is an act of the National Assembly. So, be that as it may, all our elected representatives have contributed in formulating, looking at all the areas that the Act should cover, and they have appropriately formulated the Act. The current Act is the 207 Act.
Amended.
As amended. So, and it is not one of the laws passed over to us by the military. It is a law that is very recent, and we expect it to meet our current challenges. But I think people are now trying to put politics into implementation of laws, to look at the person who is probably at the helm of affair, whether you like his person, whether he's interpreting the provisions of the Act as stipulated. And when that one happens, when somebody is implementing the provisions of the Act as stipulated, then the ordinary Nigerian begins to read meanings to it. Is this man formulating? The man is doing all he has been doing within the provisions of the law of the land. So, which power are we talking about? If there is need for an amendment to the law, let it be. Let the proposal come either from government or from private individuals, from the chambers of commerce, and all the people that feel that there are areas that need to be amended. But why is that talking of an act being too powerful? You are trying to personalize it. Okay. This is not an act made by one person. It is an act made by the whole National Assembly for the good governance of this nation as it relates to the monetary policy of Nigeria.
Dr. Michael K. Yes. I don't remember if there is any organ of government or any organization in Nigeria that has the power to approve its own budget, okay, apart from the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Well, the CBN, is the regulatory body for all banks in Nigeria.
Yes.
And Nigeria is not only the bank, the central bank. All over the world, there are basic principles that the CBN central bank must work with.
Okay.
One is independent. All over the world, the central bank must be very, very independent.
there must be the sole bank of issue currency, and must not compete with other banks. So it's not only Nigeria. So it must be independent so as to be able to function effectively. So I don't see the bank being powerful. It's all over it's not only Nigeria. Go to the Reserve Bank of England, the CBN must be very, very autonomous and independent. Otherwise, it's no longer the apex central body. So it must be independent.
How do you now get the news of the 5,000 naira note? Independence or no independence?
Well, they are simply performing their statutory mandate. It's nothing more. There's, they're trying to call currency redesigning to suit the economy. The monetary is saddled with the responsibility of managing the economy, the value of money, the worth of naira. So they know what is at stake and the actions that we taking. Although the people who react in different, but the fact is that that's their mandate. That's just their mandate. To each currency to take action. You don't allow lack as such. You take action. People will talk anyway, but that's their mandate.
Mr. Arugundade, the central bank autonomy is something we cannot afford to tamper with. Would you agree?
Well, I will answer the question this way. You see, when laws are made, when there is a constitution, or when there is an act of parliament, they are made according to the dictates of that particular time the laws are made, or according to the knowledge of those people that made that law at that particular point in time. But when the law is being put into practice, that is when you will be seeing the pros, the cons, the merits, the demerits of that law. And that is why in any law, in any constitution, even clubs law, there will be chapters or sections for amendments according to the details of time or according to the operators of that law at that particular point in time. No wonder we are seeing the legal practitioner is here, and we are seeing the various central bank governors that we have had in this country, the Ola Vincent of this world, the Clementine Song of this world, and here is Lamido Sanusi now as the governor of the central bank at this point in time. We cannot remove the temperament, the personality, the person occupying particular, not only central bank alone, all other institutions, vis-a-vis the laws of the laws of the land or the laws governing a particular system. So we are now in the 5,000 naira issue. That is where I'm concerned, and the laws are there. The central bank is autonomous according to the law. The powers are there. But what is the use of that power by Lamido Sanusi and the ruling power, the ruling clique at this particular point in time? And that is why we are here. And that is why I want to submit that Lamido Sanusi is misusing the power given to him by the introduction of this 5,000 naira note. Because the implication, I am not an economist. I am in academia, I'm in Liberian, and I am a public affairs analyst. I want to be with the masses now, right now. I want to see the practical implication of the introduction of 5,000 naira note as it concerns the people in the street, as it concerns the feeding, as it concerns the basic necessity of life, as it concerns the economy. When I'm talking of economics now, I'm talking of the practical economics of basic economics of the man on the streets, vis-a-vis what you eat, unemployment, mass unemployment, the amount of money that will be used to produce that particular 5,000 naira note, and what has been the antecedents of the previous denomination. And the effects are there for us. The phasing out of 20 naira, I want to tell you, by the time this thing comes in, there will not be 5 naira or 10 naira denomination to buy pure water again, the so-called pure water. I mean, it will just work like that. And don't forget, Lamido Sanusi Lamido is not the only one doing this thing. Don't forget the type of economy we are running. Don't forget that we are running an economy, a capitalist economy that favors this kind of thing. We are running an economy that does not even favor the man on the street.
Thank you very much. Mr. Arugundade has talked about the area of laws. Yes, we know the laws are there. The other side is how do the laws now relate to the people at a point in time?
Thank you very much. I will want to throw a few lights on the law. You made allusion to the fact that laws made at a particular time may become obsolete at another time. But the fact remains, it's a basic principle of law. A law is a law, and it is applied as it is made until it is amended. Even a bad law that we all know is a bad law, it remains a law unless it is amended. That is one. Two, if there is implementation of a particular clause of a law that people feel like Nigeria are reacting now, the next step to take is to seek an interpretation of that particular provision in the law court, which some of us are not doing. Rather, we are taking to the streets, demonstrating against 5 naira, against 10 naira. That is that. Now, the issue of this 5,000 naira note, the way it has been handled, I will look at it from a little bit with a difference. Don't let us look at 5,000 naira notes introduction in isolation. It is a restructuring of the currency system in Nigeria that the man is introducing. So, along with 5,000 naira notes, some other currencies are affected. Some coins are coming into circulation. Okay, we have 5 naira notes right away. We have 10 naira notes. We have 20 naira notes, which according to the new policy will have to go. So maybe the least currency we will have is going to be 50 naira. Now, like my brother said, I am not an economist. I'm a lawyer. I'm a businessman. I am a man on the street. I think by this action of the central bank, the central bank is even trying to help the masses of this nation. In what sense? Because the apprehension is that once a policy that relates to finances happens or is put on board, there's going to be inflation. I see it as exactly the opposite. Okay. There is no how this thing will trigger off inflation. That is the fear of everybody. That's the apprehension of me and you. Oh, there will be no more things to buy for 20 naira. Now let us come to the basics. I run a business center where photocopy is done 10 naira. You want to tell me that there is no how, there is no amount of wiping out of, if it is coins that is available at 20 naira, it is coins that people doing photocopy will take at 20 naira. But you cannot tell me that you want to photocopy a page of paper for 50 naira, all because I refuse to take 5 naira. Or the person selling akara on the street will now decide to sell his ball of akara for 100 naira, all because he doesn't want to take coins. I think the basic thing with this issue is, one, we elites, we should be prepared to appraise and find out the position of government and the position of the law and enlighten. We should be source of enlightenment to the public rather than jeering them off. There is nothing bad in 5,000. In America, there was a time America had 100,000 bills, 10,000 bills, 5,000 bills.
But they are no more now.
They are no more now. For reasons I don't know. We have not heard that Americans in the last 20-25 years that Americans' economy had been in recession. We have not had. Okay? It was not because of recession that they removed it. You get my point. So even right away in Europe, the euro currencies still have 5,000. So what we are saying is, it is me and you.
Do we take it?
How do we take it? And
do we want to spend coins?
Of course. Why don't we spend coins? If you travel outside the country, they give you coins. We will not take it. Of course, I am coming. You are taking us. You are taking me to the main issue. This issue of apathy for coins has been with us for a very long time, even before maybe some of you were born. I remember in my village when we were small, there used to be a song that way back some 40 years ago. People have been showing apathy for coins. But why? Now the Federal Bank is now saying, one, if you have coins in the market, it is going to be very durable. If your 5 naira note will stand just 5 years in the market, your coins can spend. So the economy of production of currencies will be managed. when you look at production of currency itself, how much does it take to produce a currency? Whether it is 10 naira, whether it is 5 naira.
Thank you.
I'm coming.
Yes.
It is going to be bad economy for the nation to spend 100 naira to produce a currency whose value, legal tender value, is just 5 naira. Is there any economy in that one? So I think what we owe the public is for us to enlighten the public at our various this thing, and then the central bank has a duty.
We're not done yet, Honorable Shokon. We'll come back to some issues.
Dr. Okay, I want to react to the usage of coins. Well, should we go ahead and sensitize the public about accepting coins? That if so, well, I think in developed nations there are terminal points. It's very easy for them to spend coins because you can easily get somewhere and slot in the coins and you get what you want. But there are no such facilities in Nigeria. Are those the things that make it so difficult for us to accept coins in Nigeria?
Coins is a legal tender.
Yes, definitely.
So whatever say the currency is money is money.
Legal tender.
Yes, it's a legal tender. So I think the issue is, the way we look at it.
It's a matter of culture.
It's
our culture. We don't accept it. We don't.
Is it reason in the constitution that we should not accept it?
It must be accepted.
Okay.
The issue now is, as man says, has to do with our understanding, the way we look at it. Coins. I mean, even the issue of introducing of coins. The government has said they will watch to see
it works.
Okay, you will see the coins along with the notes will go together. To see if people, once it's accepted, there's nothing wrong with coins.
Now let's talk about inflation. That Shokon can talk about inflation and then the durability of. If you look at the whole scenario, the CBN has given the various reasons why this thing must be done. Okay.
You look at, you're talking about, the cost of producing caution. That is there. Then, even for you to enhance the payment system, you need, to sanitize the because we're talking about, heavy cash users. Now. And also, it will be a better store of value. What about portability? It's not a must that it will be everywhere, but it's normal because although to the man on the streets, they have a reaction, the businessmen, they have their reaction. So you look at some people, who are heavy cash users, of course, they want higher denomination.
Does this go with the cashless society? Having a 5,000 higher denomination doesn't link with the cashless
society? There's a link. There's a link. We're talking of higher denomination. The CBN gives various reasons. For example, one, you look at today, people prefer to spend dollar in Nigeria. Yes, I'm serious. People want dollar because it's a small value, it's carries more value. Now it's become almost nothing. And the CBN must save the situation. Okay. Those people, every cash user, they want, what happened the last time in the house, fertilizer and co. Everything is in dollar.
600,000.
Now, when you have people now, when you give in a way, now there are more value. People will also tend to, go for it. But now, even this $5,000 is just $30.
It's just $30.
$30. So people will just, people will still, now you are trying to give Naira more value.
How?
Let's
give that to Mr. Abdul.
It was just to save Naira. Just to save Naira. Because now it's becoming nothing. Nothing on nothing.
How do we give that more value by making 5,000 rand? Are we? Well, we say it's portable. Can we sacrifice acceptability on the altar of portability?
Well, let me answer the question this way. I will not agree that we are giving Naira more value by the introduction of 5,000 Naira notes. My simple economics will tell me that is not how to bring value to any currency. The economics expert will surely agree with me that it is to bring more value to a national currency is not necessarily by the printing of 5 Naira note, 5,000 Naira note. That when you bring value to a currency, it requires the productivity, the productive sector
purchasing value of
that nation. And how can we? When I was young in those days, we were spending pounds. They call it pound in my local community. And at that time, when they were converting the so-called pound to Naira, it became 2 naira to 1 pound. I mean, you can see, as a young person then, I could see the economy of Nigeria was okay. I think I can compare the economy of Nigeria in the 60s up to the 2012 now, and you can see successive governments that even despite the increase, despite the production of new currency, it has not solved it. It has not solved any problem. It has not solved any economic problem. We are saying we should go to the basics. The basic we are talking about is the largest majority, the sovereign majority of Nigerian nation. What has been the impact of this production of 5,000 naira note on you and me? On who is a man on the street? A man on the street, by my definition, is a person who does not belong to the ruling oligarchy, who does not feed from all these things we are talking about. The benefit is for the oil cartel of this world, the oppressors of this world in Nigeria. That is just the issue. And can we really trust government? That's another issue. The same argument. We are not bereft of theories in this country. We have so many experts. We have so many gurus, financial gurus, economic gurus. The Okonje Iweala of this world, they are experts. But what has been the relevance, the impact of their knowledge on the man on the street which carries about the 90% of Nigerian population? We have not seen any effect. With the printing, what will be the consequence? What will be the consequence of not printing the 5,000 naira note? Then what will be the consequence of maintaining the status quo, improve the production, corruption-free society, creation of employment for the mapping of unemployed youths in this country and even the adults, social security, good governance, independence of judiciary, and so on and so forth, creating a secure, let Nigeria be secured and let us be free to reside in any part of this nation. I'm even saying categorically that the government is bringing this 5,000 naira issue as a diversionary tactics, just for us to have, just like Babangida brought the issue of the conditionalities of IMF in those days, just to divert our attention from the real issue of unemployment, from the real issue of Boko Haram, from the real Nigeria is already a failed nation. And I want to submit that instead of focusing on this, we should focus on the fundamentals. Then secondly, on the issue of coins. The issue of coins. It is not that Nigerians will not like to spend coins, but I still believe at the end of the day, watch and see. By the time this 5,000 naira note is introduced, you will find it that there will be a deliberate policy. It will not be announced. There will no more be coins. The coins, go to the bank. Do you still find coins? No. The coins still remain. There is no law that does not say there is no 10 kobo. But do you find 10 kobo? Along the way, gradually the coins will not be available again. And when the coins will not be available, the least denomination in currency will be the only money you can spend. And by the time you give the money out in currency, you will even get the balance from the market seller naturally. Consequently,
15 naira will be the least money we spend.
Pure water will become 50 naira. And don't forget, the same argument on fuel subsidy is the same argument now. The government cannot be trusted. Federal government cannot be trusted. And the only issue since I started, as the economy of Nigeria improved, has it not been the sole vicious circle of problem? That is the issue. I am talking as a public affairs analyst, looking at this. Before you can trust a person, look at the artistness of that person. This government in Nigeria, federal government, Jonathan cannot be trusted.
On the streets, what do you think is happening? What do you think Nigerians are reacting to? We don't want the 5,000 naira. Is it poor timing?
Very good. But we don't want.
And the money now. That it looks like that's
a very good question. You see, I said that there is a little error on the reactions, because the people formulated it's a restructuring of the currency, of the monetary system of the country. Some currencies being altered, some coins, But the people who are reacting only against the 5,000, the higher denomination. You get my point. Now, what we should look at is, I am happy with some of the things he said. You go to the street, you don't find coins anymore, even though it is still a legal tender. In my house, I have some. Probably in his house, he has some.
Not spendable.
The problem is not spendable, because one, the market woman on the street will not accept. The businessman, the man who runs his a cyber cafe, will not
the
take.
bank will not take it.
I am coming. That is where I'm going. Now, even the taxi man on the street will not take. Even when you take it to the bank will not take. So that is how the currency have. I mean, the points have gone into extinction, almost into extinction. The central bank should charge the banks at the various level. Community bank, microfinance bank, commercial banks, that currency, coins is a legal tender and they must accept it. So, if you come to my business office and you do photocopy and you say 10 naira and you give me coins of 10 naira, at the end of the day, I will pack all my money, both coins and currency. I walk to the next bank to me, I deposit there. Once it is accepted, the issue that people are now raising will continue to come to the positive side, that inflation. You now know that there's a place where you can spend your 10 naira notes. You now know there's a place you can, your 10 naira coins. You now know that there's value for your 20 naira. I am coming. It is not going to take us any time. It is just for the banks to understand, to be properly schooled, and if possible, any bank that rejects coins should be sanctioned. You see, at times when you even go to the bank, the law says that when you as a customer of a bank, you are entitled to nominate the denominations of the money you want to take from any bank. That is the law. Okay. You get my point? But most times when you get to the bank, you say you want 200 naira notes, they will tell you it is not available. Yes. You get my point? So these are issues that we have to do. So the bulk of the success of this policy is on the table of the commercial banks. Okay. And since it is starting from the Apex Bank, I hope they are listening. The central bank should wake up and make sure that it puts all the commercial banks on their toes, put them at alert that this policy must not fail. Because at the end of the day, it is going to reduce. It's going to reduce inflation. Because when I have 10 naira now, I know I can easily spend it. You want to tell me that at the end of the day I will buy what do you call it, blade, just one blade for 50 naira. When a packet sells for 50 naira, a packet of 10. Are you now saying if I want to buy an envelope, I want to write a letter for a client, I want to buy an envelope?
It will happen that you won't buy just one, you buy a packet.
Look, there some people buy just one envelope.
So now, should we will have to do a part 2 of this discussion. So Nigerians, are we going to expect that note to come? Is that where we're going, Mr. We expect the note. Is it coming?
Of course, it's coming.
I think.
Excuse me, please. If there is a reversal by whatever kind of prayer, I am happy when the central bank governor went to the Senate. There was not much of disagreement. What people are expressing is just sentiment. The law empowers the central bank to carry out some statutory functions, and if the central bank should renege on this, it means it is failing in its constitutional and legal duties as stated in section 20 of the CBN Act. Give me just 1 second, I'll read to you. I'm coming, just 1 second. Currency notes and coins issued by the central bank shall be in such denominations of the naira of fractions thereof as shall be approved by the president on the recommendation of the board. 2. Of such forms and design and bear such devices as shall be approved by the president on the recommendation of the board. So what has the central the central bank done? All right. There's a board of the central bank.
If I can chip in
finally.
If I can chip in some points. Usually the laws are there, but we are still talking of the operators of the law, and there is no law that is rigid, and there is no sign of weakness if an institution or an individual should reverse itself if a policy is highly unpopular. Right. The government is there because of the masses. It is a government of the people. We are not in a military regime. Okay. We are not in a dictator. The people said they don't want it. There is even option to life. Yes. There is even option to life. Is it only the denomination that will bring the economy back to reality?
We'll come back on Monday to finish this issue. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. Well, Ekiti's Economy Today will return on board. Now we'll start with the Job Creation Agency. How many people have been employed in Ekiti? How many will still be employed? That is where we're going now. 5,000 naira note we will return on Monday to finish it. But our guest says we should expect it. Thank you.
Agenda-setting program for the best of interviews without bias, sports,
World flight and Ronaldo crossing.
business news, weather report, newspaper highlights, and news as it breaks with balanced reportage. Watch Daybreak Nigeria. Daybreak Nigeria live on EKTV, Mondays through Fridays from 7:15 to 10 o'clock in the morning. EKTV Daybreak Nigeria, your agenda-setting program.
The new introduction of 5,000 naira is a bad moment to the countries, in the sense that the 5,000 naira note will create an inflation. All the commodity, the goods, and this thing will rise up. And in fact, there won't be naira again. Even if you want to buy anything in the market, everything will go up. And also, the season whereby we are spending naira won't be there again. Because at the moment they change the money to 5,000 naira note, they will change the 5 naira, the 10 naira will be changed to coins. So in that case, nobody will be spending the 10 naira or the 5 naira again.
Well, in fact, it's unfortunate that we have some people at the helms of affairs that don't even really know what they are doing. If I'm not mistaken, and if you will remember, sometimes ago when one of the governors of the central bank said they want to restructure the currency of Nigerian, where then the issue of 1,000 naira was introduced, then can't they even, do they know what we call economic forecast? Do they know what we call economic projection? When somebody is introducing 1,000 naira note, that person did not know what of 5,000 naira note. Today somebody else is coming to spend billions of nairas of taxpayers' money to print another 5,000 naira note. What for? For God's sake, instead of thinking on how to alleviate the suffering of the masses, they are using the money, the one that is saying is not, it doesn't available for the masses, to print another 5,000 naira note. In fact, according to the estimate, they said 48 billion naira to print 5,000 naira note. Honestly, this is economic madness. Honestly, that's my view. It's economic madness. It means they don't know what they are doing. Tomorrow somebody else will come and say it's printing 10,000 naira note. So where are we going from there?
So the denomination used commonly are 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, 30 naira. So these are the things that circulates within the common man. If this level
On EKTV Channel 41, your agenda-setting program for the best of interviews without bias, sports,
World flight and Ronaldo crossing.
business news, weather report, newspaper highlights, and news as it breaks with balanced reportage. Watch Daybreak Nigeria. Daybreak Nigeria live on EKTV, Mondays through Fridays from 7:15 to 10 o'clock in the morning. EKTV Daybreak Nigeria, your agenda-setting program.
Somewhere in Ekiti, another road is being constructed. Somewhere in Ekiti, economic policies are changing to better citizens' lives. Tourism coming alive just as agriculture is becoming more viable and attractive. Somewhere in Ekiti, another youth is getting employed and urban renewal is taking a new turn to attract investors. Placing more strides for economic growth by the JKF's government. Let's show you where and how the economy works in Ekiti on Ekiti's Economy Today, every Friday between 9 and 10 in the morning. Ekiti's Economy Today, powered by the Ministry of Finance, Ekiti State. Ekiti's working, to God be the glory. Ekiti's Economy Today, live on the station. In Ekiti, another road is being constructed. Somewhere in Ekiti, economic policy.
Right, welcome on Ekiti Economy Today. And here we have the Director General Job Creation Agency in Ekiti State is here to tell us how far the Ekiti State government has gone to create jobs for the teeming youth and to empower people through this agency. Mr. Folon Shaluko, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Right, stage.
Welcome, Mr. Aluko.
Thank you.
Well, is it possible for this current administration to give 20,000 jobs by the year 2014?
Certainly it is possible, because already before the close of this second year, we are already on 10,193 jobs already created.
Can we know how you did that?
Yes, you all will recall that immediately Dr. Kayode Fayemi came on board and I was appointed. March 11 last year I came on board. We called a meeting of the unemployed with Mr. Governor. At that place we agreed that we should register all unemployed in Ekiti to establish a database of the unemployed. After the database was set up, we realized that we had about 50,000 people who registered. As a quick win, the governor quickly approved that we engage 5,000 youths immediately as the Ekiti Project Volunteer Core Group. This was like a shadow employment to cushion the effect of poverty, to provide an opportunity for a sort of orientation for them, to provide mentoring for them where they're going to work, and then on the basis of that, prepare them for permanent employment through some of the exit strategies that we are already working on. After this 5,000, we immediately again piloted our skill acquisition and entrepreneurship program with the 500 youths. 200 went to Odua. We all in this state were witnesses of the graduation 2 months ago, where they were trained in 9 different skill areas. After this also, we were able to bring together 1,500 people under the state facility management and street cleaners program. They are put across the whole state, cleaning our roads, cleaning different government facilities, and also in some cases where private sector operatives requested for them, we were also able to post them there. Are you also aware that immediately after that, we got approval of Mr. Governor to engage directly low certificated youths, 200 of them, and post into different MDAs for support services as office assistants and such other positions. We have, after the piloting with the 500 again, brought on board 1,000 youths for skill acquisition. 400 is to resume in Odua next month. Others are going to different training institutes also that have requested for them. You will recollect the 1,000 entrepreneurship one that we did with GLOW back home Nigeria, the GLOW PCO project, where we gave 700 youths and then 300 women. We also gave to those who are less privileged.
What is the criteria for selecting the 700 youths and 300 women?
Yes,
the GLOW partnership.
Yes, the first criteria for the youth is that we went into our database. We invited about 3,000 of them.
Those who had earlier registered.
Those who had earlier registered as unemployed. Okay. When we invited the 3,000, we invited them to the Ekiti State University main auditorium sometime in May. And then we interacted with them, told them the details of the program, after which we requested that every one of them who is interested should indicate his willingness or her willingness by signing the register and saying, I am ready to do it. So on the basis of that, we got about 1,050 of them who are interested. We now decided to send the 1,050 to their different local governments, because we select according to local governments to make for equal and fair representation. We sent them to their local government. Globacom team went around the entire local governments one after the other, training them on how to do this business. By the conclusion of the training, we realized that out of the 1,050 also, we only had a little above 700 that attended. So only those who attended the technical training became qualified to collect the business empowerment team. For the women, what we did was to collaborate with a development, an NGO that is involved in women GLOW and all the rest.
Doing for them?
GLOW, let me start from what we are doing. GLOW brought the idea.
Which idea?
The idea of we empowering youths in the telecommunications sector. And then we looked at their packages, and then we reviewed it with them. I brought in the Ekiti Enterprise Development Agency. We looked at it together, looked at how it can succeed in Ekiti and flourish. By the end of the day, the governor approved that everything they need for the business as stated in GLO's proposal should be given to each of the youths. And then this we paid for. The state paid for everything, just that we depended.
So what is the role of GLO in this?
The role of GLO is that they are the ones who run the telecommunications backbone. They are the ones who also have the technical know-how to help us continue to monitor them and give us reports on a monthly basis.
So these youths and these women will be can now fend for themselves and have their own businesses?
Yes, it's a self-sustaining business. The only thing that is left is that we expect GLO by the end of every month to give us the report sheet of the performance of everybody. Because again, part of the agreement is after 6 months, we are going to review their performances and then pick one per local government and again elevate them to the next level on the business. So this will be hinged on the monthly technical report that GLO will be providing for us. As government, we do not have the equipment to be able to do the MRE and such other things, because what we are doing is, as much as government is trying to make sure that they intervene on the economy, create an enabling environment for business to succeed, government is not interested in going to really control businesses. So we are partnering with private sector, NGOs to make sure that they help us drive it. But government is the one who pays for everything and then makes sure that the purpose for which we have paid for these things, they are achieved.
Okay, on the approval of 200 youths for direct labor into the civil service,
yes.
What is the selection? How did you select them?
Yes. The first one we did, we have another one now that we are going to start the processes next week again. The first one that we did, what we did was to go into our database and look at those who meet specific qualifications that we request for these different positions, and then we choose them according to local government. For instance, part of the kind of criteria we set is that at least out of a 200, every local government will have at least 10. But some local governments like Ado may have like 25, 30, depending on how those we invite from Ado perform on the interview. So when we choose like that, we choose times 2 of what we want to recruit, or like 500, we send text messages to them directly and then give them specific details of what to do through the text message. For instance, we give them specific dates to come and report. If you're a driver, we text you specifically to say you have been selected as part of those to attend the interview for engagement as drivers under the Ekiti Low Scale Volunteers Project. Please report at the Director General's office on so date and so time for further details. Those who report, if we give them 9 o'clock, we start attending to them by 10, and we keep the gate open from that 10 till like 2 or 3 o'clock. By the close of that day, whoever does not come, we only take those who came. So if we invited 500 and only 240 came, we will take those 240 and interview them. Then from the 240, we'll now make sure we take the best 200. We always bring in consultants to join us on the interview.
One very good thing that we must talk about, and I would like you to tell us exactly how much we will achieve as a state and as a people on that. That's the skill acquisition that was done jointly with Odua. I am beginning to see Ekiti being turned into an industrial hub where our youth can get involved and then get paid.
Yes, the Odua thing, we got approval from Mr. Governor for 500 youths to be trained in different skills area. Odua applied and we reviewed their curricula, visited their facilities, held several meetings both here and Lagos. When we concluded, we realized that only 200 is what we can give to them for that period on the first phase. We distributed the rest 300 to some other trainers. Odua did the training for 6 months. During this training, we were paying each of the trainees 3,500 naira every month. And we were visiting them on monthly basis to take their role register, because they sign attendance register. By the time they are finishing, almost all the 9 skills area went for a particular internship or the other. The reality of it is many of them came back saying that where they did their internship, some places they want to employ them into hotels, some places they want to employ them into fashion industries, some places they want to engage them as what they call jolman or whatever they call it, jollyman. But many of them insisted that no, with this kind of skill, they know when they are on their own, they will do better and they will get better. And by the conclusion of the program, at the day of graduation, we had 192 people out of the 200 successfully graduated. The rest 8 again, just about last week when I came back, I saw about 6 of their certificates coming in to say they have come to receipt for the exams they failed, and that now they have been graded, they have succeeded. And I minuted back that I want to see the head of school. Let's again confirm and see, as we did for others, what they have done. And we confirm. So only 2 as at now would we say has not actually come back to finish up everything. Aside that, Mr. Governor...
What were the things they learned while at the acquisitions?
Yes, they learned leadership, quality, particular skills like tailoring, hotel and catering management, catering, I think they call it joinery and whatever, metallurgy, mechanical, ICT, hardware maintenance and all the rest. And then they also did rewire and such other things. 9, to be specific. And all of them, Governor approved 20 million naira as a seed loan to be given to them.
After the training.
As at the day of the graduation, the 20 million naira was ready, and then it was distributed among them. They are to assess it, but they may not just give them the 100,000 naira cash each. What they would expect is you get a shop, there is an agreement that is confirmed, my shop is 25,000, they would tell you, yeah, pay the 25,000. These are the equipment I need, like this, and then they bring it, and then their head of school, head of department vets and agreed, DG Eda approves. What I have done is to hand them over to the Ekiti Enterprise Development Agency.
Will be monitoring.
The money and everything to give to them and then be monitoring for me.
What is the mode of payment?
The mode of payment is that they gave them 9 months moratorium. They won't pay anything. But when they start paying back, I think they are going to pay over a period of 3 years. But it is an interest-free loan. It is not interest-free from the bank. The governor paid the interest ahead with the money and say, sign off interest, I have paid it, let them just collect the money, but replow the 100,000 back over a period of 2 to 3 years. So that the next ones will be approving for the next set also. It will be like a rotating loan and revolving loan that will always come back. But it is purely interest-free, not a single digit or a point decimal, interest-free. And as at when they finished last month, by now, many of them are already establishing. And we are going to again start the second phase. The second phase now, Odo has been able to expand their facility. The state is also promising to give more support to make sure that the expansion will meet it up with necessary equipment, and then they are able to do the next 400. Okay, let me also add that during their training, it's not only the 3-5 that we give to them. The state paid not only the tuition, but also paid for every basic tool that they would need and the kittens that they would need. During the training. Kitten here talks about both their boots, their dresses, and such other things, and tools. And then other things that are consumables include, for instance, somebody who is learning
carpentry.
What?
Carpentry.
Okay, carpentry, if you choose that example, the person will be provided some amount for wood, some amount for some particular gum, some amount for some particular kind of tapings that will be consumed during the training. This is aside the basic tools that were provided for each of them.
Okay, Mr. Adesha, we wanted to shed more light on the partnership between the ND and the state government on the training of 240 youths in specialized areas in agriculture.
Yes. Let me quickly explain also that all these things we call partnership. The state government only adopted a policy that they don't want a direct involvement of states to say we are setting up skill acquisition center. Job creation is training people. What we have done is to say we will look at a private operative or a government arm that has a facility. We will approach them. What does it take you to train people for us? They will tell us this is what it takes. We will provide everything it takes for them to do. So on our collaboration with the National Directorate of Employment, what we did was when we saw that they had a facility at Agri Kolokwe, we approached the state coordinator who requested that we hold a meeting. We met together, agreed that it was a workable thing that they could train for us. We moved to see the Commissioner for Agric. We discussed with the Commissioner of Agric, who reviewed both the curricula and the details and agreed that yes, this is good enough for the state. This is aside the Y card thing. And then we agreed with them to give us a bill. When we looked at the bill, we agreed what it would take to train them, to pay the trainers, what it would take to provide the different things they need during the training for them, and then how much to be giving them as stipends. As a matter of fact, on the proposal of NDE, according to what they do on federal government rating, they give each trainee 2,000 naira. But monthly. But what we told them is our standard. His Excellency has insisted that because all these trainees must come from different local governments, let's also support them with some subsidy on their accommodation and transport, which should amount to an extra 1,500 aside this 2,000. And that's why we have put our own 3,005 as a standard. And that is what we are giving to all those who are on NDE. It's on agric. Our target is to make sure that the white card project of the state is youth in commercial agricultural development. Yes. It's like an agricultural development thing that youth will come up to become real full-fledged entrepreneurs into commercial agric. When the governor approved that 400 million should be distributed to these 300 people, we thought it may not always come like that. Let's come again to a little level that is lower than that and say, let's train people who will be middle level operatives in the agric sector. Even when these people are going into commercial agric, these ones may become service provider or also start doing some miniature farming that is not as huge as the white card thing, so that the value chain, they can be an addition to the value chain. And 240 people, because that is what the facility could take, was approved. So they are there now already. As at 2 days ago when I visited the place, we were able to see them all punctual. As a matter of fact,
where is that, the location?
At Greek Olope along Ajilosun Road. We saw that we even have 243, and they were appealing to me, please. All of them are committed. They don't want any of the three to be dropped. And I said, let them continue. We'll see how to make sure we keep them there. Our focus is to make sure that every youth that shows commitment and interest, we will try as much as possible to make the person
still on white card
involved. Yes.
What do you think will happen to our youth that are getting involved in commercial and mechanized farming under white card in the next about 2-3 years?
Of course, in the next 2-3 years, all of them would have matured up to be qualified to be millionaires, except anyone who is not focused or committed to what he is doing. I want to say it categorically. That is not in all states. It's hard that you find a place where the governor will approve an interest-free loan of over 1 million naira to somebody to go and start agriculture. But I think the wisdom is on the fact that Ekiti is an agric-based economy if we really want to do what we are destined to do. Aside the fact that
we can propel other sectors of the economy through
agric. Aside the fact that, yes, we have highly educated people, the governor is trying to make sure that education again comes back to the forefront, but agric is what can really galvanize our economy.
How will you rate the involvement of women? Because I saw some ladies or women in that program. Are they really coming up?
Yes, women, they are coming up. All of them are showing interest as much as men are also showing.
Well, let me go to the Ekiti State Traffic Management Agency. These were the first set of people who came out from your training, and we saw them, and they are doing fantastically well. And now we have some people called paramedics. Are they also part of your?
Yes, the Ekiti State Transport Management Agency, Traffic Management Agency, was set up to make sure that the crises we have on our roads are resolved, and then that will lead to minimal accidents, congestions, and all the rest. Immediately we left camp, the governor came up with the idea that we should bring people together that should be able to do this work, and then the agency was set up. What we did was to say, for takeoff, let us take 300 people and train them. And these 300 people were trained for about 3 months or so at the camp, and then we got them engaged. And then today they are operating. And I'm glad you said they are successful, because you know there is divided opinion. Most times when people call me, they say, I want money to lead you. Anyhow. And I'll tell them, gentlemen, things are changing. Let us learn to do things like people in decent societies. If you don't park the wrong place, if you don't drive against traffic, if you don't do what is wrong, nobody will arrest you. And in my own judgment, these are actual manifestations of development in Ekiti State. On the paramedics and firefighters, yes, the Ministry of Special Duties realized that there is the need to again complement the government's effort at the health sector. You know, there is a sort of rural medical services being provided around, where I understand we have been able to touch more than 200 lives. The paramedics are to join as mobile emergency management team. And what we did was, when the Ministry of Special Duties, when they got the approval, the governor directed I work with them to power the processes of their employment. And then we got them employed, along with the firefighters who are working with the fire brigade of the state. As I talked to you, the fire brigade team, they are under training, rigorous training. This morning I still saw them when I passed by. And so these are developments. And that's why I said, if we put all these numbers together, as of today, through my agency only, we have been able to do 10,193. This is aside other employments that have come either.
The Kogosi is there.
The Kogosi is there. The one the teaching hospital is trying to do is there. The one the university did is there. The one the career is doing. So we have several employment opportunities coming up. But for my agency, thus far, we've been able to do at least a little above 10,000 in these first 2 years. And that is why I am convinced that the way His Excellency is going, there is no way we won't do above the 20,000 by 2014 that he promised during his campaign.
Well, we won't say that there's a great hope for the future of the youth in the state going by this speed of your agency and the speed of the government. And I know that by the time we get our youth engaged meaningfully and profitably, we will not sing the same tune in Ekiti State. Well done, Mr. DG Job Creation Agency, Mr. Folorunsho Aluko, for your effort. We still ask you to do more for the state and for posterity. Thank you very much for coming on Ekiti's Economy Today, for informing the public well on what you're doing. And when we get the feedbacks on what they want you to do, we'll also pass to your office. Thank you very much for coming.
You're always welcome.
Still on Ekiti's Economy Today, next person to report to the public is the General Manager Housing Corporation. He will come in now to tell us how much of mass, decent housing do we have in Ekiti. How can we ensure that people live in good houses at affordable prices, and so we can have a very strong and successful society.
Somewhere in Ekiti, another road is being constructed. Somewhere in Ekiti, economic policies are changing to better citizens' lives. Tourism coming alive just as agriculture is becoming more viable and attractive. Somewhere in Ekiti, another youth is getting employed and urban renewal is taking a new turn to attract investors, placing more strides for economic growth by the JKF's government. Let's show you where and how the economy works in Ekiti on Ekiti's Economy Today, every Friday between 9 and 10 in the morning. Ekiti's Economy Today, powered by the Ministry of Finance, Ekiti State. Ekiti's working, to God be the glory. Ekiti's Economy Today, live on the station. Somewhere in Ekiti, another road is being constructed. Somewhere in Ekiti, economic policies are changing to better citizens' lives. Tourism coming alive just as agriculture is becoming more viable and attractive. Somewhere in Ekiti, another youth is getting employed and urban renewal is taking a new turn to attract investors, placing more strides for economic growth by the JKF's government. Let's show you where and how the economy works in Ekiti on Ekiti's Economy Today, every Friday between 9 and 10 in the morning. Ekiti's Economy Today, powered by the Ministry of Finance, Ekiti State. Ekiti's working, to God be the glory. Ekiti's Economy Today, live on the station.
Alright, you're still watching Ekiti's Economy Today, and here we want to talk about housing in Ekiti State. The General Manager Housing Corporation is around. Welcome, Barrister Peter Owolabi.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. Femi Emmanuel has joined me.
Thank you very much, Teji. Barrister Owolabi, you're welcome once again. Can you give us a brief introduction of Ekiti Housing Corporation, talking about the functions, the duties, and the things you are set up to do?
Yeah. Ekiti Housing Corporation was created in 1977 under the trade of 1977. Function of Ekiti Housing Corporation went to land and sites and services, acquisition of land, and sales of land. Then we give advice on property management and investments. Also, we build the estate, and we allocate the estate to the people as well.
Okay. You build estate, or you supervise?
We build.
Okay.
Yeah, we build houses.
Okay.
Then we sell houses as well.
Now, right now, okay? Before you came on board as a GM, and you do a comparative analysis of what obtained in the Ekiti then and right now.
Before I came on board, May 17th this year. But as corporation, I've been building houses. They built old governor's offices, the former and the annex of federal Annex of the State Ministry of Finance. Then the trade fair.
They built part of the trade fair or all of the trade fair?
The part of the trade fair.
So as the corporation can do all of these projects that you talk about, can they get involved in building estate for the people?
They will build a Fadri estate in 2008. Then a Fauci estate. The Fauci estate was built by the state. Then it got transferred to the as a corporation. They built a Obasanjo estate in 2005. The Ifaki housing estate 2010 as well. And presently we are planning to build estate in the state local government.
All right, we'll talk about the estates you're planning to build and locations. But before then, one very vital issue is the maintenance of the old estates we have in Ado-Ekiti and in environs. Talking about, we have the federal housing estate, we have the state housing estate. But if you move around, you wonder, are things really being maintained at all?
The president now, Kenya Housing Estate Road has been awarded. Our work is ongoing. And we are planning to put infrastructure in place at Ifaki Housing Estate.
Bawa Estate?
Ifaki Housing Estate. Road, location of Ifaki Housing Estate, position of balls, and the fencing of Ifaki Housing Estate. We intend to put a ball in place because the pipe has been damaged during the construction of the road since 2007. As soon as the pipe is repaired, then we can put a pipe bomb water in place at Ifaki Housing Estate.
Do you have more people living at the Ifaki Housing Estate now? Do you have a lot?
No. Because we have not put the infrastructure in place at Ifaki Housing Estate.
What about Bawa Estate? Something is happening there.
No, the Bawa Estate, we want to renovate Bawa Estate. Then we put it up for sales. Bawa Estate, we sold 10 out of 55 units of 2 bedrooms at Bawa Estate. The remaining 45 units and 7 shops. So as soon as we do it, then we put it up for sale. Put Bawa Estate up for sales.
I want to talk more about the Okela Housing Estate. In those days, when you talk about the fact that you live in an estate, you're talking about the fact that you live somewhere where you like to go, somewhere a little beautiful. What are you doing? What is your corporation doing to maintain standard? I know that some houses are owned individually there, but what are you doing to maintain standard? Okay, these and these are the kind of houses that should be here.
So as I've said now, mainly Okela Housing Estate are mainly bungalows.
Yes.
No room for high rises and others. Then the unallocated, all the lands have been allocated, but some are undeveloped. So they've written to us, so we have to revoke undeveloped lands. Undeveloped lands rather.
Well, GM, can you tell us about land acquisition in Ekiti State and payment of compensation to people that their houses were demolished for construction works?
The construction works mainly have been done by the Bureau of Land. But when we acquire land for people, from family land, we pay compensation to the family. The head of the family and the principal of the family have to be present.
If the corporation acquires land from the family, you pay compensation. That land you can turn to an estate or you can sell to the people.
You can do certain services. You can sell to people and you can build estates in such land.
Now, can you tell us how much you're doing to help people have decent housing?
You know, to have decent housing, there's thing for a decent estate. Abroad, in America, Europe, because many of the houses are built through mortgage. Then you can have a decent estate. But if you have presently now, people are building their houses unlike other areas, other parts of the world. You know, housing estate now enable the state to have decent houses and decent estates and decent environment. You know, people are living. Some in Africa generally, and in Nigeria, people build. They don't complete on time, and they be building as soon as they have the money to build the house. But if the estate now, and if you have access mortgage through Federal Mortgage Bank or through a PMI, they can get the money in bulk, build the house. If you build the house for them now, through mortgage now, they can pay installments for some years. So they'll be able to complete the house at once and move into the house.
Is there
to be building in some?
Are there arrangements for civil servants? Do you do any collaboration with the Civil Service Commission or things like that?
The president now, the one we built at Ilewolede, the Fadri Estate, the former Ilewolede, was sold to civil servants and some other people in the state as well.
Some people say some people will buy like 6 lots of that and resold. Are you aware some people can do that?
When we are giving to one, a family can buy one. At the same time, can be given to husband and wife as well. Because the one we sold now was sold to a family.
How much are you selling these houses?
4.6 million for Fadri Estate for 3 bedrooms.
Is that not too expensive?
Not other expensive.
Okay, and the payment will be instrumentally.
It depends. It can be outright. At the same time, it can be installment.
Okay.
Because about over 100 mortgagors apply for mortgage through different Wema homes.
Okay.
But Wema homes were later merged with Wema Bank. So we are planning to transfer them to another PMI.
Okay.
So that they can continue the mortgage for where they
So
start.
what's the process of applying for mortgage?
The application, after the person will apply, we pay 10% equity to the housing corporation. Then, if the person is qualified, a civil servant now is eligible to federal mortgage loan.
Okay.
We meet all the
Many civil servants don't know that they have chance to get federal mortgage loan.
No, they are aware now because they want to know the state discontinue National Housing Fund since the year 2000.
Okay.
But they are planning to go back to the scheme now. As soon as they join the scheme, they will have access to federal mortgage bank loan.
Your corporation was given a provisional approval of 1.5 billion naira by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. What's happening to that?
You took 1.5 billion naira from the Federal Mortgage Bank to invest in which area? What do you want to do with that?
No, we have not. We didn't take 1.5 billion. Amount approved at Federal Mortgage Bank is 796 million plus approved, not 1.5 million. Not 1.5 billion.
What is the intention?
So there was built estate in 6 local governments.
6 local councils.
Yeah. But initially it was 1.5 billion, but only 796 million plus was approved.
Have you
I'm waiting
this
disbursement because of the NHF. Because one of the conditions precedent to disbursement is NHF. It still needs to join National Housing Fund and be remitting to National Housing. And be remitting to Federal Mortgage Bank before Federal Mortgage Bank can disburse money to the state.
Are you in any way connected to the housing loans given to civil servants?
Housing loan?
Yeah.
Housing loan is no. We are not giving housing loan to the.
Do you help those who get housing loans to start their own house building?
No. What we do when we build house, what we are assessing at Federal Mortgage Bank now, we are assessing estate development loan for the question of estate. After the question of the estate, eligible mortgagor will apply through a PMI to Federal Mortgage Bank to enable the mortgagor have access to NHF fund, NHF loan. NHF loan, there is NHF loan, there is a EDA loan. EDA loan is for the creation of estate. National Housing Fund loan is for purchase of existing estate or houses.
I can't wait to see.
Someone now can access National Housing Fund through a PMI.
What is PMI?
PMI, primary mortgage institution, like a resort, as a civil and no PSC, and the defunct Wema owns PSC. So we can only give a National Housing Fund loan to them through a PMI from Federal Mortgage Bank.
What is government doing to ensure that there's control on the amount of money paid for house rent in Ado-Ekiti? It's really like in Lagos, and if government don't start regulating via directly or indirectly, we're going to see a situation whereby 1.5 million will be house rent for a 3-bedroom flat.
No, presently now we are not going back on mass housing. Apart from housing corporation, other developers are coming as well. So when we have mass housing, then there'll be the supply. We have enough houses for the indigenous of Ekiti State. So that will reduce the cost of rentage in Ekiti State.
Mass housing.
Yeah, mass housing. Like mass housing, Ado-Ekiti, Ikere, and other parts of the state.
Apart from selling units, do you do rent too?
No, we don't rent houses. Really so.
So you mean that when we have mass housing estate for the people, people can have good options to have their own houses, and landlords can beat down the amount of money they pay.
They might not increase their money when their houses everywhere in the state.
How long do you think it will take government? Because we know government talk about mass housing estate over the years. How long do you think it will take? Is it going to be completed in the tenure of current administration?
Yeah. It's very, very possible. The money has been approved for us. It's only awaiting disbursement. As soon as the money is disbursed, then we commence the construction of houses.
Okay.
They are expecting money from other sources as well, because we are expecting some money from Fajui Estate. The one built in 2008. Some of them have not paid, but because of the subject change in government policy, Wema Homes was merged with the Wema Bank, and the Wema Bank cannot give a National Housing Fund loan because it's acting out of virus. For present now, we had a meeting between the mortgagors and the Fajui Housing Estate and the former management of Housing Corporation, the present management, and the Development Bank. So we resolved now. Unfortunately, out of them will be approved. Awaiting this disbursement for Federal Mortgage Bank as well. That's NHF loan, not EDF this time around. So as now we get the money, we can invest the money in other part of the state as well, or Ado-Ekiti as well.
How much support do you get from the state government? You requested what you call seed money from the state government to the tune of 400 billion naira.
That was there. Seed money. Once we are expecting for money from Abuja, from Federal Mortgage Bank, and we have money as well with the mortgagors at Faju Estate. It's expedient of us to collect what they are owing us at Faju Estate. And the one from Abuja, that should be enough for us to build a efficient estate within the state. You know, we don't need to have billions of naira before you can back on the estate. If you have part of the money, then you commence it, then people will be coming for the estate. You know, they'll be paying, some are paying upfront. You don't need all the money.
To the economy of the state, when we have good housing for people, what do you think that can add value to? What kind of value do you think that?
Good housing.
Good housing.
No, if we have good housing, it will beautify the state. At the same time, it will add to the IGR of the state as well.
Okay. People can live comfortably. And
they will have good security. You know, when they are in a close estate, it gives security to the people. Or like when somebody is similar to the bush, uncompleted building. Some people are living in an uncompleted building.
You know, they have to struggle to start the houses because there are no options. Landlord wants to kill them, and now government must rise up to the occasion.
Yeah, with this arrangement now, with NHF, with EDL arrangement and NHF arrangement, people to have access to good houses rather than living in a house not suitable for.
Now, if you sell a unit of flat for 4.5 million naira,
4.6 million
naira, that's not a small money for us in the Ekiti state. What are plans? Are there plans? Are there installments?
If we can. A civil servant is eligible to pay for maximum of 30 years. 30 years. Depends on the age of the mortgagor minus 60 years. Okay. If the mortgagor is 40 years, you can pay for 20 years. If it's 50, you can pay for 10 years. Okay. You can pay for 10 years after the payment of 10% equity.
I'm interested in knowing the private investors you are going to collaborate with to ensure that we have the mass housing estate.
President, now we are talking resort homes. Then there are other people, also saving as approach us as well, and other developers. The essence of this is just for them to have access to good houses.
Okay.
Yeah. The government might not be interested in making much money profit from the house, but to enable people to have access to good houses.
Well, so somebody sent this, we talked about it, but you can't talk about it again. What are you doing in regards Ifaki housing estate?
They want to put infrastructure in place at Ifaki housing estate. So we approved in principle. We are putting roads. We are doing the electrification of Ifaki housing estate. The pipe on water. We are sending that to bore now because the pipe has been damaged by the contractors since year 2007. Okay. Then we are doing the fencing as well.
We want to say a big thank you to you, General Manager Housing Corporation.
Maybe before you go, you can quickly talk about the challenges, the constraints you face.
Presently, we don't have funds for construction of estates. Okay. And we are expecting money from Federal Mortgage Bank, as I've said. Then we have money at Faju Estate that we're expecting as well. That's why we get the money, be able to build more houses. Then moving equipment like wheel loaders and others, we don't have those ones as well.
And they are really capital intensive.
Yeah, they're very expensive.
Well, the people were expecting to find a way through it. All we want is mass housing estate. How you go about them will be your own thing.
Yeah, we can get that done without any stress.
You have to get it done.
Yeah, we are working seriously. And the person in government is working seriously. You know, welfare is, we live in the welfare of the people. Yeah. So when we talk of welfare, we talk of security, housing, health and others. And without good accommodation, we cannot talk of security. Okay. So that's why we are working hard to make sure we have a befitting houses for the state people. And what matters more, they need to join the NHF scheme to enable them have access to the houses because they cannot afford to have a 4.6 million to pay for the houses at once.
NHF scheme.
Yeah, it has been existing since. You know, when in all over the world, that was Chief of Law submitted that average African are living, average Nigerian rather, are living in a house not suitable for normal poultry and playground. But with this NHF now, they have access to good houses.
Okay. Thank you. Barrister Peter Olabi, General Manager of Housing Corporation, talking on Ekiti's economy today, and he's talked on a lot of effort government is doing to ensure that we have decent houses to live in. And one very good thing is the loan that will be gotten from the Federal Mortgage Bank to start mass housing estate in 6 local councils in Ekiti State. It will be a fantastic achievement if the government can pull through this. We want to wish you success. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We'll leave you in the hands of Asha now for some entertainment before we say goodbye for the week.
Thank you very much.
Youth is getting employed and urban renewal is taking a new turn to attract investors, placing more strides for economic growth by the JKF's government. Let's show you where and how the economy works in Ekiti on Ekiti's Economy Today, every Friday between 9 and 10 in the morning. Ekiti's Economy Today, powered by the Ministry of Finance, Ekiti State. Ekiti's working, to God be the glory. Ekiti's Economy Today, live on the station.
I've been waiting for